Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be tuning in. This is Yonks with DUNA DAO, and this is now our fourth pre-launch conversation as can't believe it's June the 6th already, but we're really laying a solid foundation here with DUNA so that we can launch as either a DUNA, a decentralized, unincorporated nonprofit association, or if we don't hit the 100-member threshold by July 1st, go ahead and spin up a Wyoming unincorporated nonprofit association. And join with me on the live stream today is Jorge from Lit Cloud Canada. If you wanted to say hello, go ahead, Jorge.
Hello, everyone. Jorge here from Lit Cloud Canada, the capital, Ottawa. Feel free to reach out for any blockchain word or questions. And thank you so much for the invite to learn more about DAOs. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I just want to echo, and I don't have this in our official agenda today, but we're really creating a FELG culture, which is an acronym for fun, earning, learning, and giving. And the way that I like to roll, Jorge, is if I don't have fun, I just don't think that it's worth doing. So I like to have fun, and that's one of the things that we really want to foster. And that's one of the main reasons that I love this live stream format, is that it really provides, whether somebody wants a more interactive experience to join the conversation here via Zoom, or if they want to kind of like be a little bit more passive or completely anonymous, they can plug in, whether it's on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Twitter. I mean, we're multi-streaming it out on multiple different channels. And that's one of the things that really wanting to elevate here, continue to in 2024, is making better use of that. And I'm really excited to be unpacking the Fathom AI note taker to really help elevate that. But anyway, looking here at the Google Docs, this is our agenda, and this is something that we also, again, very radically build in public. This Google Docs is available for anyone. It should be linked on wherever that you're watching this. So for the agenda today, and one of the things here, I've got these blue cues highlighted here. So I'm going to go ahead and say timestamp for a visual cue. But one of the things wanting to talk about is our ambassadors program. And that's one of the things that we spent a good portion of the conversation on here via pre-launch conversation number 3. And one of the pages that I did create in Charmverse, and that's our main community portal that has some different functionality, is becoming a founding ambassador. And this is actually a token gated piece of content. The only way that you can actually view this is if you're an existing founding member. And it's super easy to become a founding member. Did you want to share, Jorge, what your experience was as far as going through that process here?
So basically we have the link for the unlock protocol, which it works in the base layer on top of Ethereum. And it was pretty straightforward. I just clicked that link for the checkout button in there, and it took me straight to the page. I used my MetaMask wallet, and I was able to pay the $7, and it was easy. But immediately It's a bit different for people who never use a wallet. So that's the only thing that you gotta know, how to use a wallet. And the most common wallet that people use for these kind of things is the MetaMask wallet.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we will actually, going over here, looking at doing to make it easier for people to onboard. And that's one of the things that Coinbase is really making strides in. Like one of the big announcements that they had, I think it was literally yesterday, is that what they're calling their smart wallet is now available. And that's one of the things that they're really optimistic to make it easier for people that aren't Web3 natives, that don't have an existing MetaMask wallet. And one of the things that we've been experimenting with a little bit is the Coinbase wallet. And it's a little different than the Coinbase account through the Decentralized exchange. The Coinbase wallet is actually a Web3 wallet that provides an Ethereum wallet and a Solana wallet, as well as a Bitcoin wallet, all through the Coinbase. So it even has a little bit more functionality than MetaMask, which is just an Ethereum wallet. And I see Amy has joined us. Thanks for joining us, Amy. We were just talking a little bit about the becoming a founding ambassador, and also talking about the prerequisite, which you can actually join DUNA DAO with a $7 a year USDC using Unlock Protocol. And I'm a huge fan of Unlock Protocol. That's really the only other DAO that I'm actively participating in. And it's been fun. Like, we actually went through the process. Stella, who was on our tools working group here, where we spun up our own Charmverse space for DUNA DAO. We're actually going to be using Charmverse there for Unlock Protocol DAO as well. So anyway, moving down the agenda, let me check off some of these items here. And this is a timestamp into the next thing that we're going to talk about. So one of the solutions that I want to look at is HATS protocol. And this is really talking about the composability. And this is a great, I'm going to link this up here on the YouTube for everybody to take a look at. I was actually on a DAO Spring Week 7 conversation with Nick from HATS Protocol today, which was really talking about roles. And when you think about like what we're doing here with the founding ambassador, that's functionally a role. And think of like the ambassador as an affiliate, or a biz dev sort of business development is a very common role that's used in organizations, whether it's online Web3 organizations or traditional, and kind of like sales almost. But that's one of the things I don't really like to view what I'm doing as sales. That's why I love ambassador. And I think ambassador really has a little bit more of an ethos as far as from a responsibility and stewardship dynamic than an affiliate or a salesperson does. So taking a look here at this HATS protocol. So I don't know if it's going to really go through the process here today. This might be a good opportunity to do a tools working group. But I like really just kind of getting in and rolling up our sleeves on these working groups. So what do you think? Should we just kind of onboard DUNADAO.eth into HATS protocol?
I think we kind of, I don't have any problems with that, but I would like to say something else before you move forward. I would love to say that for anyone watching this video, you don't need to be a programmer. You don't need to be a tech savvy. These platforms that we're showing you in here is for you to collaborate with other people, for you to start new communities, for you to do business too, assign tasks and new jobs. And basically people can say, oh, I want to do this job. They complete it, you pay them without so much legal paperwork, but everything handled through the smart contract. So don't be scared if you are HR, you work in art, or you're just ride your bike. This is for anyone can use it. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for bringing that forward, because I'm definitely not a developer. I can roll my sleeves up a little bit, probably more than most on the technical side as a former IT professional, but I definitely don't identify as a developer. And like spinning up our Charmverse community, it was a pretty easy process. And I even had a little bit of a struggle with getting some of the DNS stuff done, but I had great help from Pork Bun, who we have used for registering DUNADAO.org. And just to kind of talk about the rewards over here, this is some of the functionality that we're looking at potentially using. We've already got some existing tasks on DWork, but one of the things that I really want to potentially do is keep things more simple for people by having some of the core tools that we're using all in one place. So like, here's the member directory, and this is something that I was helping Tyler with. And here's Jorge's founding member that he's onboarded with. And this is something that we will absolutely, like, one of the things that I've done is I have like profiles on Ethereum naming service and Lens protocol, and it makes it easier for me to create my profile, because that's one of the nice value propositions of Charmverse, is that it automatically imports things. And I want to say thank you to Amy for all that she's done for behind the scenes with doing some of the POAPs. And this is one of the other, for people that aren't familiar with what a POAP is, it stands for Proof of Attendance Protocol. And that's something that we will likely utilize here, because like right now we've got Jorge, myself, and Amy, and the opportunity for us to create a NFT, a POAP that says, hey, I was on DUNA DAO pre-launch conversation number 4, and it's just a nice little token, a digital bookmark of life, if you will. So, and I'm going to just put this out here to the universe, whether that's you, Jorge, and I don't know if you wanted to talk, Amy. The last time I remember we did a POAP, I think it was for this one right here, that the POAP team gave a little flack that the image was a little not up to par. So if somebody wants to create a fabulous image for DUNA DAO for these pre-launch conversations, I would love, and I know that Amy would love to help facilitate the distribution of the POAPs. But anyway, did you want to say anything on that topic, Amy?
No, not really. I think I might ask somebody to just make it into a like a dynamic NFT, like a GIF, if that could be done in Canva. But the logo itself is really good. It's just that the POA people has upgraded their taste since the last time we've used it. They're now accepting GIF, when before it has to be a PNG. So I'll ask somebody if they could just put a little spin on it and see if the POA people will accept it better.
Yeah, and let me just roll here with like create an image for create a POAP image for DUNA DAO pre-launch conversations. So, and I'm not going to go any more detail than that right now. Save draft.
I've got a question. Is the proof of participation the same as a proof of contribution, or they're two different NFTs?
So, and I kind of like to view that, because like when somebody's participating, like in our pre-launch conversations, imagine how much more boring this would be on my end, Jorge, if it was just myself on here and I was talking to the camera. So to me, your participation is contributing to the pre-launch conversation. So in this kind of a context, it's really the same thing. Now, one of the things that I absolutely want to incorporate and implement within DUNA DAO, and this goes more back to, I really view DUNA DAO as a ongoing experiment with what we're doing as far as social rewards and so where I'm going with that is I would like to create an ERC 3643 token, which is an extension of ERC20 that's gaining a lot of traction. And let me just go over here real quick to ERC3643.org. So ERC 3643 is a standard for permissioned tokens. And I'm wanting to do this on CELO, which is a public goods blockchain. And one of the ways that wanting to do it is more of like almost like a soulbound, but if we want to remove the soulbound component as a token issuer, we can do that. And we're also planning on using ERC 3643 as a proof of contribution mechanism within our DAO ecosystem at large, and also going to be using ERC 3643 as representing ownership when we're tokenizing real world assets such as electric vehicles or real estate or distributed energy resources. So I'm not sure exactly when CELO is going to be migrating from the L1 blockchain to an L2 blockchain built on the OP stack. But one of the reasons that wanting to do CELO is to create a little bit differentiation from a tokenized real world asset, but then also just, I think it most aligns with, let me go here real quick to CELO.org. So, and just their ethos, build together and prosper. So I really love the ethos, and you can like they have a read more here as far as they're transitioning to an Ethereum L2 chain, and they did as a community agree to build on the OP stack, which is basically the same framework that is Optimism, of course, but then also Base is within the OP stack. And I'm not sure what other L2 chains on Ethereum are in the LP or in the OP stack. So anyway, I'm not going to add any more details here for the create a POAP image for DUNA DAO. This is again just experimenting with the rewards type of functionality that we have within Charmverse. So going back to the HATS protocol. So this article is really good because it talks about some of the Lego blocks that HATS protocol is using within their proto DAO. So like and I'm not going to go through all of this, but one of the things that we will absolutely be creating here fairly soon is a safe multi-sig and safe.global, formerly known as Gnosis Safe. And this is largely regarded as the industry best practices for an on-chain safe for doing a DAO treasury. And it's got a lot of composability, and that's something that we have used in all of our projects thus far. And I'm actually a delegator with safe tokens that we have in some of our existing safes for voting on some of the proposals that the Safe DAO puts forward. So that's something that we'll put on the roadmap. We may even do a working group. So have you, just out of curiosity, Jorge, have you ever been a multi-signer or multi-sig signer on a safe before?
No, not yet.
So that's an opportunity for you to consider. You can do some checking out. It's I don't know what that will look like as far as from a workflow standpoint. And that's really where we have an opportunity to define that, because as we continue to create value, onboard members, and then work towards creating this DUNA compliance as a service where we can then start onboarding organizations to use our, and really, I think it's important to mention that really want to structure DUNA DAO as a multi-stakeholder cooperative. And I'm not going to unpack that any more than just mentioning that that's really, and there's some tax reasons for doing that. And that's one of the opportunities that we still have to unpack within our ecosystem at large. Some accountants that have experience with subchapter T. But before I was a Web3 fanboy, I was and still am a cooperative, and I like to view DAOs as technology-enabled cooperatives. So scrolling down this Proto DAO Lego kit here, and they have some pretty cool stuff. This might be another opportunity. HATS Proto DAO uses quests and splits as the primary tool for tracking contributions. I'm not sure if that will make sense or if we can just more keep it simple with Charmverse and the rewards functionality, and then already been using DWork a little bit, but I'm really wanting to lean into Charmverse just to make it more simple, if at all possible. I think that this is a little bit more, provides a little bit more functionality, but anyway, we've also used coordinate circles in some of our other projects. I'm not sure if that will make sense or not here, but that's another decentralized coordination tool. Deform, this is definitely one that I want to look at exploring, because like Deform handles all the Proto DAO's information gathering needs. So like right now, we have a very rudimentary process, like, hey, somebody loves what we're doing, join here. There's not really any workflow where we can get feedback. So Deform is a great mechanism for getting feedback, like where we could create and think of it like a Web3 enabled type form is probably the best way to think of Deform, so that we could say, hey, like, what are some skills that you could potentially contribute to what we're doing here? So I mentioned multi-stakeholder cooperative. Like we as humans all have unique skills and gifts that we bring to the table, and the opportunity to really be intentional about asking somebody what their skills are and what they would like to contribute. This is where I see that Deform could fit into that. Charmverse. So obviously we've been talking about Charmverse and we'll continue to talk about Charmverse. I'm also having some side conversations to do some deep dives on some of these various features, like rewards. We've talked a little bit about rewards here. Like I haven't even looked at the proposals workflow. We've used Snapshot, and just to go over here to snapshot.org, DUNA DAO was born out of a snapshot proposal that we did with Web3 Freedom Club over here, pre-launch DUNA DAO. And I'll link that up here on the live stream in YouTube and here in the chat if anybody hasn't seen this. And this is one of the things that it was me, Amy, and Tyler that voted unanimously. And we talked a little bit about it on our Triple Win Foundation second annual meeting all the way back in March. And this is actually the POAP. So this is just kind of it coincidentally bringing everything a little bit more full circle as far as some of the history to get to where we got here in 2024, where we're now in our fourth pre-launch conversation for DUNA DAO. So this was, we talked about it here on our annual meeting, and then we created a proposal to how it fits within our DAO ecosystem and with a little bit of backstory. And then going over here to, we've talked about unlock protocol, and just to provide a little bit of perspective as far as here's my wallet. Mentioned here the LexDAO study group. So I was on the LexDAO DUNA study group for DUNAs on April the 4th. And this is one of the things that just really cemented. And we actually had our first pre-launch conversation on April 1st. And that was in anticipation of this LexDAO study group. And then I was also on, before we went live, Jorge, I mentioned the Marshall Islands, and this was the study group that LexDAO facilitated. I've actually got enough value out of LexDAO and what they're building there that I actually decided to recently here on board as a member of LexDAO myself. And as you can see here, a huge fan of Unlock Protocol. I use that for lots of different things. This was a fun event that we hosted several years ago, blockchain bootcamp for real estate. And that's one of the things that we're actually planning to do in a little different format, not surrounding real estate, but just at on-chain bootcamp. And I think I've even got, on-chain bootcamp. And this is something that I need to update because these events didn't happen. But that's one of the value propositions that we're wanting to create within our ecosystem at large. And this is something you should have, Jorge. I might need to transfer this NFT to you, to your other wallet, but we can take that offline because I know that you were on that tools working group. We're going to have some side conversations Unlock Protocol hosted a on-chain. So here we've been talking about using DUNA as a membership representation. Another really strong use case for Unlock is doing events where you can represent, here we had, let me actually go to this on OpenSea. So I think we had, 15 or 20 people that collected, 15 people that collected this NFT for this IRL event that we hosted here that was a Taco Tuesday that Unlock Protocol co-sponsored. And there's actually another opportunity that Unlock is having. The Taco Tuesday event was a lot of success and they're up in the ante. We're actually going to have a conversation on that. I'll link you up the details because that might be something that you want to throw your hat in there. Because again, we love having fun, and I don't know who doesn't love tacos, but quite honestly, if somebody doesn't love tacos, I don't know if I could be friends with them. So there's that. So anyway, getting back to our agenda here, kind of went off track a little bit, but HADS Protocol, Charmverse, Collabland is another great tool. And we talked about Guild. That's something that planning, and I don't completely know, but here's a really great use case of how that we can use Guild for a workflow standpoint, because here, this Google Docs for our pre-launch details and conversations is all being facilitated via Google Docs. So this is an opportunity where we can automatically, right here, Guild makes it easy to set read-write permissions for our docs. So only the right hat wearers have the right permissions at any time. So this is a real world use case of some workflow that we can create with HATS protocol regarding our usage of Google Docs. So, and then HATS Proto DAO uses HATS, of course. So let's actually, what is everybody's thoughts? Should we just go through the process of onboarding DUNADAO.eth into HATS right now?
Yeah, sure, no problem. We can do that. Go ahead.
All right, let's do it. So I'll open up the DUNADAO.eth. And this is actually the event here for today. One of the things that I'm going to commit to doing, since I'm going to go off on a tangent real quick before we do that. So I'm going to scroll up to the table of content. So right now we're in pre-launch. This is our 4th pre-launch conversation. And running this out, we're going to keep the time the same here throughout June, which will give us the 13th of June for our 5th pre-launch conversation, the 20th of June, and then the 27th of June. And we'll see what kind of traction that we can get. Like we're creating this ambassador program that's got a very generous 50% affiliate commission, and it's not much, but you know, the opportunity to be a founding ambassador. And then we're also going to create some perks that after we go live, it will only be the founding ambassadors that will continue to be able to be ambassadors. So we'll probably turn off the ambassador program after we're in a full-blown launch cycle to really get the ambassador program like a solid foundation built. And then probably a couple months after that we're officially launched, then we can open up the ambassador opportunity for the community at large, for those people that want to go in that. That's one of the things that I want to get great. I'm not going to unpack that because I want to spin up this HATS protocol right now. So let me copy this link here.
Jason,
So, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question. So for people who wants to, sorry, I just lost the question. I was going to say something about the membership. I just lost it. I lost it. Sorry. I'll retouch the topic again. Sorry.
No worries. So, and I'm over here on the DUNADAO.eth profile that I've got here. So we're going to go ahead and do a launch app. So, and there's some pretty cool, like when you go into the HAT, they've got some case studies here as far as how that the HATS protocol works. And you can see HATS Proto DAO is the real case study that they're, you know, dog fooding is what like to call that. So let's go ahead and connect wallet, and we're going to do, let me make sure I'm signed in. I got to get the password here. So I'm actually using, I mentioned Coinbase wallet already, and this is one of the things that I primarily still use MetaMask for yonks.eth, but with DUNADAO.eth, I actually am using Coinbase wallet. So I'm getting the password over here. Unlock. Oh, got the wrong one.
Yeah, so I remember now. So what I was going to ask was, it is possible that before July 1st, you may have almost 100 ambassadors. It's possible. So whoever gets first, that would be great.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the opportunities that wanting to create, because like one of the things that I think exists is when you think about like the alignment here is that there's legal professionals, for example, and one of the things that I'm wanting to facilitate a conversation with LexDAO is, you know, creating a opportunity to potentially partner and collaborate with LexDAO. And I'm connected to the Simply, the assistant operator at LexDAO, as well as Tertius, the steward of LexDAO. And I haven't really, I put forward a couple opportunities surrounding the pre-launch conversations, but now that I'm a member, I'm wanting to start participating in the regular, and I'm not sure what the cadence is, but that's one of the considerations. So anyway, Coinbase wallet connecting to the HATS app here. So gm.dunadao.eth. So I'm going to just say like, and I don't know if we switch networks. I'm going to switch to Base because we're building all the stuff on Base. And I think that there's going to be some opportunities here with on-chain summer. So that's one of the things that I would encourage everybody to kind of keep an eye around. Because the opportunity of, getting some grant funds for what we're building here with DUNA DAO, especially that we're building it on Base, is a very real opportunity. So anyway, let me go ahead and click on create new tree. And I don't know if I should go through this process. I haven't even read the docs yet. I think I'm gonna read the docs before start working on creating a tree, because it's easier to create it correctly instead of coming back and redoing it. So I'll take that offline to kind of explore. But we did onboard DUNADAO.eth, and we're gonna work on using HATS protocol. And like I said, what I think makes sense, and whether we want to do and I don't know, it might make sense to do a guild slash. And let's actually just go to guild.xyz here too, because this might even be an easier dynamic to create, because I've actually created a retoken DAO guild before. So anyway, again, sign in. You might need to disable the shield. I don't know if I will or not, but that's good to know. Signing in with Coinbase Wallet here on DUNA DAO. Verify address. Stairs, I don't know, stairs here. Sign this. So let's create a guild. I guess I don't know if we should use connect platforms that you build your community around. I guess we'll do X. And this is another thing too, if you're not following DUNA DAO on Twitter, please do that, because there's some mechanisms that require a certain amount. Like, it's not something that I've been promoting, and this is another opportunity for people that love social media. If you want to contribute, this is another use case, I believe, for HATS. Like, if you want to be a social media contributor, and I think that that's some of the functionality that HATS provide, is that we can provide, hey, I'm a social media contributor. So, and then automate some of that stuff with HATS protocol behind the scene. So let's see, invalid X URL, add, Telegram. So we also have the Telegram. Let's see what it looks like here. Yeah, I'm not going to do that right now.
Jason, this is a great idea, because I have a bunch of influencers on Twitter. They work with cryptocurrency, and they always in search of these meme coins and all that. The truth is that they have a lot of influence on Twitter. So what they can do is to collaborate together and share whatever they want to share or promote, and they can all profit together, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the value propositions that this ambassador framework provides, is, the opportunity for them to get remunerated in direct proportion to their reach on particular platforms. And like, just to put forward here, this image that using for DUNA DAO, this is another opportunity. This is definitely not what I would say. This is something that I slapped together just to create something, and something is better than nothing. One of the things that I did put forward was the over here, and this is the DUNA DAO Telegram group, and I'm going to take a look at the pins, because this is the mission. So I don't know how you all like this, but until we get something better, let's see. DUNA DAO helps decentralized organizations embrace compliance through DUNA legislation and best practices to provide an increased peace of mind for their members and the Web3 DAO ecosystem at large. So let that resonate. I don't think that we need to have some conversation. This is one of the things that we can work on finalizing through our pre-launch phase, because one of the things that we need to create is a governing principles, and this is definitely, and I'm going to just put in here like mission. This email, I'll go ahead and make this public, DUNADAO at proton.me. Continue. So see right here's requirements to qualify, have at least 50 followers on X. So that's a threshold where we don't have that right now. So have at least 10 followers on Farcast, or have at least 10 followers on Lens Protocol. So this is another opportunity too. And it might make sense to go ahead and do this, because I think that this is some additional workflow where we've got a channel on Farcaster, but I think it actually makes sense to have an actual Farcaster ID for DUNADAO.eth, if I'm understanding things. So this is I believe I've got a Warpcast here, and this is me just using my own link to onboard DUNADAO. So join Yonks and many others on Farcaster. So we're going to put in DUNADAO at proton.me, send invite. So let me open that up here. And I can't remember what the process looks like for onboarding, so I'll actually take that offline as well. So went through, again, follow DUNADAO. Also, another thing that spoke about, and I'm going to actually open this in this tab over here. Another thing that's another barrier of entry is on LinkedIn. In order to live stream on LinkedIn, we need 150 followers on LinkedIn, and we've got 6 followers on LinkedIn right now. So follow us on LinkedIn. I've got all of these links on DUNADAO.org, Telegram, YouTube, Twitter, X, and LinkedIn. So follow us on those channels so that we can reach some of these thresholds. So anyway, let me go back to the agenda here. Kind of been all over the place, but getting stuff done, which is one of the things that love doing during our live stream and working groups. So we talked about the Hats Proto DAO Lego kits. We played around with the tasks, rewards, already had some conversation on the Charmverse versus D-Work. So one of the other things here is wanting to create, and I'm going to throw in a timestamp here as well, is to create a paragraph.xyz space. So we've been playing around a little bit with things, and this is going back to our tool stack here. This is down here in the blog and the newsletter. So I've had some thoughts between our last pre-launch conversation, and I think it makes the most sense. And this is just following over here. Like, this blog is created using paragraph.xyz. And as you can see, it's on their custom domain. And that's one of the things that I love from a branding standpoint, is that it creates a nice like permalink for a blog post that we do. And then also Paragraph has newsletter subscription capabilities. And there's also, like, when you think about rewarding content creators within our ecosystem, there's a built-in capability besides the opportunity of potentially creating a reward. Like, let's say that we create a solid piece of content that maybe goes viral, we can potentially create an economic mechanism within each blog post. Whoever co-authors that blog post can get an economic incentive, and that's baked in natively to paragraph.xyz. So let me go ahead and go over here to paragraph.xyz. So let's go ahead and get started today. And I'm going to just use the Connect Wallet functionality, Coinbase Wallet, connect. Send message, sign. Publication name, we're going to call this DUNA DAO, and publication URL, we're going to keep it DUNA DAO. Finish setup. Welcome to Paragraph. That's how easy it was to create. I didn't even have to give up the email address because this is a Web3 native application. So go to the dashboard. So there's some, again, workflow in here. Like I'm going to go to settings real quick, summary. Let me copy and paste that from our mission over here. Logo. I hate to call it a logo, but it is what it is right now. Keeping things consistent though. Links. Let's do a chat, Telegram, t.me/DUNADAO. I think it's all uppercase on Telegram. Take a look real quick. It is all uppercase. Save. So there's a link. Add a link. We'll call this DUNADAO.org, and that's our website. And let's move this up to the top. And that's good enough on the links if people hit our those two. So can check off going back to our agenda. So we created a paragraph. So one of the things that I wanted to do is to create over here on our rewards. One of the pieces of content that I would like to see is create a blog post. Why does DUNADAO.org need to exist? So, and this is where it can potentially use templates. Don't really have any templates. I was playing around with the template because like here, like this pre-launch conversation, this is our 4th one, and we have 3 more pre-launch conversations. And whether it's a pre-launch conversation or a tools working group, it'll be a fairly similar template, and may even just change the template name to a Zoom live stream for whatever purpose. And but anyway, let's. I'm not going to fill out any of the details. Well, I'll put in DUNADAO.eth as the reviewer, and this is where again the opportunity to create some workflow. And this is where, you know, talking about our proof of contribution token. This is where we can potentially use our own token that we create to reward within our own ecosystem here. Or if we wanted to have like USDC, when we get some USDC in our safe multi-sig treasury, where we can do that as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and save this draft. And so now we've got another reward opportunity. So, and one of the things that I will do here is create a Google Doc to correspond with this draft blog post. And this is one that I would encourage anybody that wants to contribute on why does DUNADAO.org need to exist. I've got some perspectives from my side as far as why that I'm spending the efforts that I am here to pre-launch DUNADAO. But anyway, I was hoping to have a few more minutes for bringing everything to a close on the next actions, but I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to type in some of the next actions that I've got, which is get next 3 pre-launch conversations scheduled and coordinated. And one of the things too that I think makes sense is to do create a let us meet for tools working group number 2, which will be guild.xyz/hats protocol.xyz. And this will give me some time. We saw what some of those barriers were with guild.xyz and with hats protocol. And also I'm going to get the finish creating DUNADAO.eth on Farcaster Workcast. because I think that there's some workflow that we can use with having DUNA DAO as a profile there on that. And then the opportunity, we need to get 10 followers to check that box on WordCast. But anyway, what are some questions, thoughts, feedback that you have for us here, Jorge, before we bring this pre-launch conversation to a close today?
No, the question that I had was actually the one about ambassadors and founders until July 1st. So I think there is a lot of time for a lot of people to join and be part of something that is totally new, something that a lot of people don't talk about, and something that common people around us will not talk about because it's so new, and also it's new but also old because there's a lot of people that have been using this for years, and the way they started working and communicating with each other was using these Web3 platforms, working together, and the way they develop is crazy. And myself, I'm pulling out my career in cyber to dedicate my life to Web3 because I love the community. I love how people work together in here, and it could be just anybody. That doesn't have any special requirements, any special skills. You listen to some stuff and then you choose, oh, I want to take this path, or I want to tokenize, or I want to focus on DAOs, or I want to focus on blockchain, or I want to focus on many other careers. There is plenty of opportunities for careers over here. Doesn't matter what you do. You could be using these systems and bring the ideas together. So that's my input.
Yeah, no, and I absolutely love that. And one of the things that we can collectively commit to, Jorge, is, you know, the pre-launch, we don't have to say, hey, it's July 1st. Like, we can extend the pre-launch. And that's something that we can absolutely use within the Charmverse workflow with the proposals mechanism, is that we can create a vote, you know, and decide who that we want to let vote on that, whether they're an explorer or a founding member or an ambassador. We have a lot of flexibility. So I don't want it to be like, hey, it's July the 1st. I do think that we should absolutely have a governing principles document in place that we can say, hey, this is kind of like our initial draft. But if we want to extend pre-launch until another date in the future, I am absolutely okay with that. And I just want to really, I'm not building this for myself, building it for the ecosystem at large here. And I do have like wanting to use DUNAs as tokenizing real world assets, but really want this to be community owned and operated and get autonomy, which is one of the decentralized autonomous organizations. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the opportunity to potentially extend the pre-launch, because just thinking out loud here, starting to have some side conversations around doing a DAO day at the Wyoming blockchain stampede, which will be the 7th year that the Wyoming blockchain stampede has occurred. So the opportunity to potentially extend the pre-launch and have our official launch be the DAO day at the Wyoming blockchain stampede. Again, I like having fun and going to in-person events and connecting with other people. So that's another consideration that we have as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts? We're already 2 minutes past the hour, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time here. So any final thoughts before we bring this to a wrap here today?
Come on, join us, everybody.
Love it. Thanks for participating, Jorge, and looking forward to having more conversations.
Anytime. Thank you very much.